What's up, guys? So today I'll be showing you how to set up and use the most overpowered formation on FIFA 22, which is the 4-4-2 flat. 4-4-2 flat is so good because it's easy to use. You have 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, 2 in the middle, 2 covering the wide areas. Then most important of all, you have 2 strikers. These 2 strikers are very dangerous and they can cause your opponent serious harm. So for this formation, we need 2 fast wingers, a box-to-box midfielder, that's the more attacking midfielder, then a more defensive minded midfielder, and 2 fast strikers. Your 2 best players should be in your striking position. So let me show you an example on how to set up the 4-4-2 flat. So we know Gullit is a box-to-box midfielder, so we put him here. Matthäus, also let's use Essien, it's a more defensive minded midfielder, we put him here. And our 2 best forwards should be Pele and Maradona. Yeah, so you want your 2 best strikers to be here. Those are your fastest players. Then you can put your other wingers on the wing. Now we've set up the players. Let's head over to the player instructions. This is how you want them to play in game. So starting with the defense, we always want our fullbacks to stay back while attacking. We don't want them to go forward, you understand? If not, you can be exposed on the counter when you lose the ball. And what they give you up front is not what they risk, you understand? So we like to leave them on, stay back while attacking. Then our 2 centre backs, balance, don't touch anything, just leave them unbalanced. So now for your 2 CMs, the more defensive minded CM should be on stay back while attacking and cover center. You don't want him to move forward, you want him to hold that position, you understand? Then the more attacking, which is the box to box, leave him unbalanced and cover center. Leaving him unbalanced makes him like go forward whenever he feels it's the right time to go forward. And good players that are more box to box minded tend to move forward when the opportunity arises, you understand? So them moving forward adds an extra player when you're attacking. This is also a good part of the 4-4-2. So now when you're attacking, you have your 2 wingers, your 2 strikers, and the extra midfielder that is joining them, which is making them 5 in attack. So for your wingers, you just want them to come back on defense and get into the box for cross. Don't put too much for your wingers. You also want your wingers to help when it's time to defend. And during an attack, if the ball is on the other side, for example, like if the ball is with Zidane, for example, Ronaldinho gets into the box, you want your players to get into the box as often as possible to create numerical superiority inside the box, and this will give you better chances of scoring. So we do the same for Zidane here, get into the box and come back on defense. Now for your 2 strikers, you only need to put 1 instruction on them, which is getting behind. Getting behind means that they make attacking runs in behind the opposition's defense. This doesn't mean that they're always running. You only make those runs when the opportunity arises. You get, so we need them to always be trying to get in behind only when the opportunity arises. But during the play, sometimes they drop deep to receive the ball and link up with your 2 midfielders. But when the opportunity arises, you always try to make the run in behind your defenders, and that's what you need. That's what you need to score on FIFA 22. Then for your goalkeeper, it's always important to put him on comms for crosses and sweeper keeper. You want him to always try to claim those low crosses coming in from the wings, and also to be able to get off his line to intercept balls. Okay, so now that we are done with the players' instructions, let's go to the tactics. Tactics is just how you want your players to play, how you want your team to set up during the game. So for the defensive style, we have balance, pressure on heavy touch, pressure after possession loss, constant pressure and drop back. All these have different effects on your players when you lose possession. For example, balance keeps your players in position to do whatever you want them to do. They don't rush and they don't sit. They're just in position, ready for you to give them commands. And that, I feel, is the best way to go in your defensive style. You also have pressure on heavy touch, and pressure after possession loss, constant pressure. These are good for when you're chasing the lead. You want to apply pressure on your opponent, then you can use either of these. But I always advise leave on balance. Then I don't use drop back. Drop back is for rats, and I don't play like that. I always like to be in position to defend. So for my defensive width, I usually set this to 40. I used to use it on 50, but I noticed that with 40, it keeps your 2 central midfielders close to each other to help you defend the middle areas of the pitch on FIFA 22. The thing with FIFA is that the middle area of the pitch is the most dangerous area, and you want your players to always be in position to defend those areas. If you're too wide, there will be serious holes in between your two midfielders, and your opponents can easily find their striker. So you want to leave this on 40. Then my depth, I always take my depth to 70. 70 doesn't mean that my players are too high up the pitch and will always be exposed at the back. No, it doesn't mean that. What it does is that it compresses the pitch. It makes it hard for your opponent to play in between the lines. 70 is actually a very good defensive setup because the spaces between your defensive line, your midfield line, and your two strikers is so little that your two midfielders and your two strikers, they don't have to cover so much ground when defending. Because if your defensive line, let's say somewhere like 40, 30, yeah, there will be a lot of space between your defensive line and your two midfielders. So defending those spaces will be hard, and you will usually get exposed in those areas, or your defenders will tire out quickly. So that's why I always leave it on 70 to close those spaces. So for the offensive setup, I always leave it on balance. Chance creation, I leave it on balance. The other offensive setup like slow build up, offensive setup like slow build up, fast build up, long balls, balanced, and the rest. But I always leave it on balanced. Build up play just shows, or it just defines how your team plays when they are in their defensive half of the pitch. I always leave this on balance. I don't want to force my teammates to play in a particular way. I want to be the one to be able to dictate how I want them to play. If I want them to play fast, then I speed up the game. If I want them to be slow, then I slow down the game. Then your chance creation. Chance creation is how your teammates behave when they are in the opposite half of the pitch. I always like to leave this on balance also. I want to be the one to dictate how they move. I don't want to force them to either play possession football or make forward runs or direct passing. So I just leave this on balance. So for my chance creation, you can leave this on 50, yeah, but I would prefer 60. Why? Because 4-4-2 uses two wingers, yeah, and two strikers and two midfielders. I want to take advantage of the whole pitch as much as possible, because the easiest way to score in this game is to stretch out the play so that you can have chances in the middle of the pitch. So with 4-4-2, it's easier for me when I'm on 60 width to take the ball to the wing, then bring it back to the middle again, because my players are stretching out the opponent's back line. So that's why I leave it on 60. Then players in the box, I leave this on 5. I don't want there to be so much players in the box, and I don't want there to be too little players in the box. So that's why I leave this on 5. Then corners, I leave this on 1 so I don't get countered attack. And free kicks too, I also leave this on 1 so that I don't get countered. So after you've set up the 4-4-2 custom tactics and instructions, I'll advise you to go into a game, give it a try, and possibly tweak it to suit your gaming style. And I also advise everyone to keep on practicing. You can't get better without practicing. Go into a match, practice this formation, see what works for you. If there are any changes, you can as well make those changes. Okay guys, this brings us to the end of our video today. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about the video, the 4-4-2 tactics, the instructions, players to use, please leave a comment below in the comment section. See you next time.